Alright, let's talk about what might be one of the most consequential what ifs in the entire Naruto timeline. Because when you look at how the 4th Hokage's death set off nearly every major tragedy in the series, keeping him alive doesn't just change Naruto's childhood, it rewrites the entire shinobi world. So first, the baseline. The kyuubi attack in year 9 of the Hidden Leaf calendar. Kushina's giving birth, Obito appears, releases the Nine Tails, and Minato is forced into that desperate chain of decisions we all know. Now, if Minato survives, there are only two realistic ways that happens. Either he seals half of Kurama inside himself like Naruto later would, or he finds a way to reseal the entire beast without needing to use the dead demon consuming seal. Both outcomes lead to the same thing. Minato's still alive and Konoha doesn't lose its Hokage. That immediately kills one of the series' biggest problems, the leadership vacuum that let Danzo and the elders take control in the background. Minato, being young, diplomatic, and immensely respected, would stabilize Konoha almost immediately. And remember, Minato was Jiraiya's student, not the elders. That means his policies, his people, his network, they all look very different. Now, let's think about Naruto himself. Without his parents dying, or even if only Minato survives, Naruto grows up known. He's not the demon brat, he's the 4th Hokage's son. And that shift alone destroys his core motivation from canon. He doesn't need to become Hokage so people will recognize him. He's recognized the day he's born. What that does is completely reshape his drive. Instead of fighting to be seen, he's fighting to surpass his father. It's not the story of a pariah chasing acknowledgement. It's the story of a prodigy trying to live up to impossible expectations. The emotional tone of Naruto's character changes from one of loneliness and defiance to pressure and legacy. He's still optimistic, still reckless, still has the will of fire, but the way he expresses it is grounded, not desperate. Minato staying alive means no 3rd Hokage resuming office, no elder manipulation, and crucially, no resentment from the Uchiha. Because that resentment, remember, was largely tied to how the Uchiha were blamed for the Nine Tails attack and pushed into isolation. Minato, being the one who fought off the Nine Tails himself, wouldn't have allowed that kind of scapegoating to take root. He would have addressed it head on, given the Uchiha more integration with the village's security forces, honored their contributions. And if that happens, the Uchiha coup plot never forms. Itachi never gets ordered to wipe out his clan, and Sasuke never loses everything. So the entire cycle of hatred that defines Naruto's main conflict is cut off at the root. Naruto and Sasuke's dynamic. Now we're in interesting territory, because without tragedy, both Naruto and Sasuke grow up as heirs to greatness. Naruto, the Hokage's son. Sasuke, the Uchiha prodigy. They'd still be rivals, but not out of pain, out of pride. Their rivalry becomes a test of ideals rather than a clash of trauma. Where canon Naruto is trying to save Sasuke from self-destruction, alternate Naruto is trying to beat Sasuke fairly. It's more philosophical, less emotional. The story loses that raw, hurt people healing each other theme, but it gains a cleaner ideological battle. Legacy versus talent, destiny versus free will. This is where Minato's survival really breaks canon structure. If Minato's alive, Jiraiya doesn't have to roam for decades. He stays closer to the village, advising Minato, raising Naruto, and maintaining spy networks. That means Akatsuki's rise gets noticed early. Nagato's ideology would be confronted long before it hardened into extremism. And with Jiraiya and Minato working together, it's very possible they could have pulled him back, or at least prevented Akatsuki from turning into a terrorist organization. And then there's Obito. If Minato's alive, Obito never becomes a legend. He has to face the man he once called Sensei, the one he thought he killed. That confrontation could have forced him to question everything he was doing, because the only thing holding Obito's conviction together was the idea that the world had completely abandoned him. Minato being alive breaks that illusion. The entire conflict chain. At most, you get smaller, politically motivated disputes between nations. But a unified world-ending crisis? Not likely. Minato's diplomacy and power keep the peace. Naruto's generation grows up in stability, still training, still fighting missions, but never traumatized by the sins of the old world. So what does the story mean now? In canon, Naruto is about breaking the cycle of hatred, turning pain into understanding. If Minato lives, that theme changes to inheriting peace and learning how to maintain it. Naruto doesn't have to fix the world, he has to protect it from decaying again. It's a softer story, but not a lesser one. It becomes about preservation, not redemption. Legacy. not revolution. If Minato survives the Nine Tails attack, the Naruto world becomes almost unrecognizable. The tragedies that define its characters, the loneliness, the revenge, the wars, dissolve before they ever begin. Minato's survival means peace comes early, but the lessons that forge that peace in canon are never learned. It's a brighter world, yes, but also one that never truly understands why it needed to change in the first place. So in the end, Minato's death wasn't just a tragedy. It was the spark that forced the entire shinobi world to evolve.
Never go back, no turn my back, my brody, nah.